Hey everyone, I'm here with my 2019 Alfa Romeo Giulia Q4 sedan, and today I just want to go over a 37,000 mile, 14-month, almost 14-month update. This car, I've had it since November of 2018. It's an October 2018 built car, and this is just the base for the US market, the base Q4 all-wheel drive sedan with 17-inch rims. Pirelli Cinturato P7 all-season tires, and yeah, I mean, I've had this car now for 37,000 miles, and I just want to do a quick update regarding kind of anything I've had go on in the last 4,000 miles since my last update. And I've done actually two TSBs to fix something with the ECM and the PCM. Made the stop-start a little bit smoother, and made a few updates to the car to hopefully smooth a few things out, and it's been pretty good so far. I mean, I haven't really had a lot of issues since 33,000 miles. It's been pretty solid. The only thing I can think of is that the stop-start system has been kind of flaky. It hasn't been working actually the very best. It's just not turning off the engine at stoplights, and today, for instance, it's 52 degrees Fahrenheit for the high, and typically any temperature over 24 degrees Fahrenheit, this car usually shuts off the engine at stoplights and stop signs, or in traffic jams if you're stopped for long enough. But for some reason the car is not turning off the engine, and it's been several days above freezing, so I have no idea why the engine's not turning off. Now, most people would probably be very happy that the engine doesn't turn off, because it's not the smoothest restart. It's not the smoothest stop-start system for the engine, but I noticed that I'm definitely getting worse fuel economy as a result. So I'm getting closer to like 27.6 miles per gallon instead of normally about 28.5 miles per gallon in the wintertime. It's pretty good gas mileage nonetheless for a high-performance car that does 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, but nonetheless, you know, I can tell it's just not running right for some reason. Maybe the battery has low voltage, but I can't find a way to find out exactly what's going on and why the stop-start system is not turning on. There's nothing in the gauge cluster, at least on these 2019 models, that show that, and I just have the 6.5-inch infotainment screen with no navigation built in. So maybe it's on upper trims where it actually tells you what's going on with the stop-start, but at least for my car it doesn't actually show that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, there was one thing. The forward collision warning went off one time for no apparent reason. I think sunlight, maybe a shadow, was seen by the camera in the windshield, because I was driving into the sunset, so it's possible that it saw something that actually wasn't there, and it actually did a brake jab, I should say, where I was going about 35 miles an hour, and it slammed on the brakes for like not even a quarter second, just to try to get my attention. But it was a false alert. There was nothing in my way, so I'm not exactly sure what it saw. That's the first and only time in the 37,000 miles I've had the car that it's actually given me a false forward collision warning alert, so I'm kind of surprised by that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, the tires are, after 37,000 miles, I've had the tires recently rotated, so the fronts are at 630 seconds, the backs are at 530 seconds of tread. Usually around 430 seconds is when you want to start looking for tires. So I'd say this car would probably be needing new tires sometime later this coming summer. Probably closer to the low 40s, mid 40,000 mile mark is when the car needs new tires, because I can tell the car doesn't have as good a winter traction or wet traction as it did when I had it new, or even last winter when I was driving it. It had 10,000 miles last winter, and I could tell it's definitely degraded since then. Trying to think if there's anything else with this. Honestly, it's been pretty smooth. Oh, trying to get the dealers to fill up the oil to the correct level can be a challenge with some of the oil changes. It seems that the dealer I've been working with hasn't been the very best. So I'd recommend making sure that your tech, your advisor, or your mechanic actually fills up the oil to the correct level. Apparently there's a dealer level physical oil gauge that they can put into the engine through the oil fill on the top of the engine, they can actually physically measure the oil to verify if the oil level sensor is reading the correct level, so they can calibrate it correctly. But apparently my car wasn't calibrated correctly from the dealer that I went to, so I had that updated by another place, so that way the gauge, or they had to refill the oil. They actually just decided to do a full new oil change and remeasure it with the physical dealer tool, and then verify that it was the correct level on the infotainment system. So they got that updated. It's at the full mark now. Sometimes dealers don't put the tire pressure to the recommended levels of 36 in the back, 32 in the front for PSI on these 17-inch wheels. It might differ for your car, it might be a different pressure, but for mine they usually put it 36 back, 36 front, which really shouldn't make a big difference, but at the same time, I just like it to be at the correct level. I'm a little picky in that regard, but I know a lot of owners are picky about it, and I just noticed I took it through a car wash and looks like I got a little piece of that rubber mat. Yeah, looks like I got a piece of the rubber or foam mat that they use to dry off the car, so looks like I got stuck in the headlight, but no big deal. Trying to think if there's anything else with this thing. Not too much. I mean, I've been very happy with it. It seems that just the electronics are a little flaky here and there. Like, I'm sure it's an electronic issue why the stop-start system's not turning on. I'm not exactly sure why, but I've noticed one trick. At least the last trick I did, I opened up all the doors, including the trunk, and then I open and close the hood, which I think is actually the trick that you want to do. Got nothing in the trunk, if you're curious. Open and close the trunk, open and close the doors, and then open and close the hood. So I think it's the hood that people have said on the forums you can open and close, and then it restarts or resets the stop-start system. So let's open up the hood here and take a look and see what it's like under this baby. Nothing too crazy. It's a little dusty, but not out of the ordinary for 2 winter seasons in the Midwest and 37,000 miles, so nothing too crazy. Just make sure everything's all tight and all set to go. Coolant levels look good. Engine oil cap's tight. Just do the normal checks and look around and make sure it's all good. And then I close the hood, and usually it resets the stop-start system temporarily. So hopefully that's good now. Hopefully there's no more problems. But yeah, so we'll see how this goes. As the temperature gets warmer, I'll see if I need to bring it in and see if the stop-start system's still malfunctioning. The battery's been fine. I haven't gotten any low voltage message or check engine lights, so nothing's been wrong on that. Let's do a quick startup. You can see it has 37,004 miles, just hit 37,000 miles. Sorry for the glare, I'll try to keep you guys out of the sunlight. Foot on the brake, we'll start it up. Starts up well, no issues there. Familiar chime. I still have the issue with the USB cable, like if I plug in the phone before the system's booted up on a cold start, it won't recognize the phone's there, and even if I unplug and plug the cable back in, the system won't recognize that I'm there, that the phone's there. And then I gotta switch USB ports, and if you use the center USB port, it starts flashing for some reason, maybe meaning there's an error or something wrong in the system. But other than that, I mean, you can tell there's not much wear, maybe just very slight wrinkling on the passenger seat. There's a little bit of wrinkling on the driver's seat. But other than that, I gotta clean this thing out, but overall it's pretty good. Interior wear, nothing too crazy. Back seats look pretty good too. Nothing wrong with that. This bright red really stands out in the sunlight, that's for sure. Trying to think if there's anything else in this thing. I'm been very happy with it overall. I've been driving it around, and yeah, so far so good. Hopefully some of the teething issues that I experienced early on with this car are starting to get out of the way, and now it's going to be, knock on wood, fairly reliable for the time that I have it. And I'll keep you guys updated on this vehicle and if I have any more issues to come. But for now, 37,004 miles, 27.6 miles per gallon on this tank. Overall, this oil change, 1,900 miles, 28.6. In the winter, normally I'd be getting over 29 if the stop-start system was functioning a little better, but that's all right. All right, guys, if you have any questions or comments, put them in the section below, but I hope you guys enjoyed this 37,000 mile, almost 14-month update on this 2019 Giulia Q4 sedan. And I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.